Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in to Backstage with the Simple Church. Today is very special. We have a special guest, Amber McDonald.
I've noticed you say every episode's very special.
It is.
Really
it's always special.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, that's right. I'm Evan. We co-host the Backstage podcast, and Amber McDonald is talking about life groups. Some of you, if you've been around Simple Church, probably have heard about life groups. You might have even tried a life group, but we hope that you will listen today and take the step to be in one this semester if you're not in one. And Amber's got some great information about why that's such a big deal.
Yes, because it's always better to do life together.
Oh, good tagline. We also, at the end, talk about bringing the country together and unifying over something very important.
UNITY.
That spells unity. Thank you, Scott. So stick around for that after we talk to Amber. Thanks for being here. Make sure you subscribe to the Backstage with the Simple Church podcast.
Subscribe today.
Wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever your client is. That's
right.
Everywhere. And you can also watch us on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. Thanks.
Yeah, which our numbers are up on YouTube.
Hey, there you go. We're not going to get fired, Scott.
Yay!
We want you to do that. And some things are visual, so you can see them on YouTube if you're listening to the podcast.
That's right.
On that note, let's throw it to Amber.
Yes. Thanks for joining us.
There it is.
Somebody's got to do it.
You can't
every
not
time.
do it.
So bad when I do it.
But people like it, Scott.
I know.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Scott, we've got a guest there. The voice you just heard.
It's a lady's voice.
Who could it be?
Mystery guest. If you're watching on YouTube, you already might recognize Amber
McDonald.
Oh, we're supposed to say it at the same time. We need to practice our
Yes,
synchronized.
3, 2.
Amber McDonald.
That was pretty
next
good.
On the Price
That
is
was
Right.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Price is Right. I cannot think of Price Right at my grandparents. I think they
I
watched
know.
every episode for like 20 years.
And look, Drew
10
Carey is
a.m.
good.
every
Every
weekday
day?
morning.
Every time I was at their house.
You knew exactly when.
No.
Wow.
The only time I got to watch when we were sick.
I have one of the
Yes,
name tags at my
exactly.
house.
Jordan
That's
Phillips jumping on there. You have an actual Price is Right name
Yeah,
tag?
they came to the. We were doing a show at the Horseshoe. The
Oh, that's
I remember
Price is Right,
right.
the touring one. And
Oh, did not
Did
know
you get
that.
called?
No, I just have the name tag.
I think Christy Aguiar did, right?
Yes,
I
she
don't
did.
know.
She got called
Yes.
down, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have to ask
Yeah,
her
her
about
and
that.
her family did a family trip to Burbank, and they went and actually got called on to the show.
Did she win?
No, she never made it past the.
Oh, she
The
didn't
bidding.
get the...
But she
Yeah.
still got called. It's pretty cool. But that's not what we're talking about today, Scott.
No, it's not.
We all like Price is Right. We can agree with that. That's
I
universal.
like the Bob Barker Price is Right. I mean, Drew Carey's good, but Bob Barker.
I
same.
agree.
I can't think of Bob
Spay
Barker
and neuter your pets.
Exactly.
without. I was thinking Billy Madison when he fights him. That's iconic to me. But Amber, we're talking about something much more
What's
important.
up?
We're glad you're here.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us about you, Amber, and what you do at Simple Church because it is about to be the season of life
It
groups.
is. I've been at Simple Church for more than a year now, which is hard to
Hey.
believe.
Really?
So thankful to be here. It's amazing how God worked all that out. But yeah, I'm the life group director, and it has taken me a bit to get my mind wrapped around life groups in general, just because my idea of life groups was different before I became involved in the Simple Church and learned how the Simple Church way of life groups is, which is different, but it's better.
Oh, it's different.
Everything at Simple Church is maybe a little bit different. But I love it. I'm happy to be here. I've got 2 kids. I know I was supposed to go that route first, talk about my family, so
It's
we'll
whatever
do
you
that.
want. It's
Yeah.
organic. We're free flowing.
Free
We
flowing.
are.
I've got 2 girls. Georgia is in 8th grade at Benton Middle. Millie is in 4th grade at the elementary school. They could not be happier. They love living in Louisiana.
And
so
you
I'm
did the
thrilled.
And they're great kids.
Yeah, they are. And you did the reverse of what most people do. You were in Dallas and came back.
Yeah,
Most of our
right.
friends leave to go
I
to
know.
Dallas.
I tried it out. I tried to make the work over there, but you know what? Louisiana is not a bad place to be.
Sure.
I love it. Well, you got to go away. You get away for a little bit, and then you realize, I don't need all the big city.
I lived in
need my
Austin.
people.
I lived in Austin.
Well, you probably helped keep it weird too.
I
so.
did.
Scott's an exception to most things. in
And
life.
I came back, though. What am I talking about? I
That's
came
right.
back.
You're here now
Yeah.
doing a podcast.
I'm back.
Austin is a great city, though.
So-
I loved it.
Life groups, Amber, do mean different things to different people, and maybe talk about a little bit of what you meant
Yeah.
or what you thought life groups were before Simple Church.
Yeah, and hold on, because you didn't do life groups before this. When you were in Dallas, before coming here, you were a school teacher, right?
Right. I've never been the director or coordinator for life groups, but I've been in many. We called them Bible studies.
Sure. Most people grew up
Most
in
people,
Baptist
yeah.
church.
In
yeah.
the Baptist church, you would think of it as a Bible study.
I always think of Beth Moore.
Yeah.
She does great Bible studies.
She's got a lot.
Thank you, Paula.
So my thought of it when I came in to Simple Church was, okay, I'm going to gather groups together. We are going to have Bible studies, which is wonderful. And that is an integral part of all the groups that gather. They should study the Word of God. I mean, because that's what we need to be doing. That's so applicable, and that helps us in our daily life. But I will just be honest with you. When I started my life group, we were super gung-ho about this study that we were going to do. And so it was me and 5 of my best friends that are back here in Shreveport. I started my life group. We all got together. We did the first Bible study in a 6-week session. We did the first week. And then we spent more time just talking about our life and our kids and what's going on and our stresses and, you know, things that were tough and hard and that we could use some support on and some prayer and some help. And so I was like, you know what, guys, let's push off the study and because we had run out of time.
The life group coordinator's going to fire you.
Yeah, right? I was like, we're not going to do the study.
Yourself.
Let's just get together and talk about all the things that we talked about tonight and see how God worked through those and if, you know, how our prayers were answered and stuff like that. So to be honest, we've been meeting for 4 months and we just talk about life and stuff and kids and family and our prayer request. And that has been what we have needed more so than the Bible study.
To do life together.
If we're doing life together. And that's what I meant when I said the Simple Church way is different than what you would think at most churches. Most churches have a building. They can support having classroom type studies during the week, Sunday school type things. We don't have that. And it's a blessing that we don't. You know, some people look at it and go, oh my gosh, y'all don't have a building? How do you do that? But we're able to do so much more without it. So without a building, that does change up where we meet, when we can meet and things like that. But honestly, it's just, and how. Yeah. All
When,
those.
where, why.
Right.
Sorry.
Y'all are bringing in some of my school, school stuff.
I'm
the
keeping chasing
W's.
rabbits over here. I'll be quiet.
Speaking of school things, just throw in this fun trivia fact we found out before. You taught Jordan Phillips in school.
In
Word.
3rd grade.
I'm trying to
Third
think. That was
grade.
probably in the 2000?
What school was that?
Sure, we'll go with
Something
that.
like
Old Kerr.
Yeah, at RV, Kerr Elementary.
Did you know Mallory taught at Kerr? My wife
Yeah,
taught at Kerr
we've
for a
talked
while.
about that.
I don't think you overlapped.
Loved teaching there. I loved it. I was there for 4 years. It was
I'll
great.
never forget her class because that's where I was when 9/11 happened.
Oh, it was. So it was 2001.
Wow.
Was
Yep.
the year you were in my
We were
class.
standing by the door when the intercom came up.
How old were you in 2001,
Yeah.
Jordan?
I don't know.
3rd grade?
3rd grade. He's probably 7
I
or
was
8.
a senior in high school.
I was a freshman in high school.
Yeah, so that's funny. When I was going through my list of leaders that were already leading life groups, you know, when I came on board here at Simple Church, I came across Jordan Phillips, and I'm like, gosh, I know that name.
Sounds familiar.
I just
that dude.
feel like I know him. And then I met him at church one day. I put the face to the name, and I was like, did you go to Kerr?
Were you about this tall?
Were you about this tall? Yeah.
Cute little boy in 3rd grade.
Goodness.
Oh, gosh. So
Where did
funny.
you go wrong, Jordan?
That was great.
Have you met my dad?
Yes, I loved your dad.
We're big fans of your dad.
Yeah.
And your brother.
Oh,
That's one of the best
Steven.
things about being a teacher, though, is seeing the kids when they grow up. Our FedEx guy the other day at the office came to deliver a package, and he looked at me and he said, "Are you Miss Barnwell?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, I am." So it was funny.
Aw.
Small world.
Small
Yeah,
world.
nobody ever does that to me.
They do it to me. Be a youth pastor, same kind of thing.
Oh, I bet you run into a lot of places,
yeah.
you know. Yeah,
I've gone now, and some of my former students have had kids, which makes me feel old.
I know
I
it.
went and met with one a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he was
I'm
in
the
jail.
same
I'm
way.
kidding, he wasn't.
Oh my
was in
gosh.
The kid? Oh my gosh. Anyway, Scott, you talked about life group
So
leaders.
life group leaders. I'll just finish the comment about where we meet. Not having a church, not having a building, that just frees us up to meet anywhere, anytime, any way you want to meet, as often as you want to meet, or as little as you want to meet. Could be once a month, could be twice a month, could be every week, however you want to do it. So there's just a whole lot of freedom. And if you change your mindset a little bit to just doing life together with your friends and not focus so much on, oh, I've got to do a Bible study. That means I have to do homework every week. That means I have to study something. That means I'm probably, if you were wanting to host one, but you're kind of scared, you're probably thinking, oh, that means I probably have to pray in front of people. Or, there's a lot of fears behind
That
that.
is a real fear. I mean,
It
is
really
something
is.
people think about, yeah.
So I offer the studies. I offer the questions that go through after the studies. I offer a prayer card if you want to just read a prayer. You don't even have to, or y'all could just silently pray.
Really?
I mean, that's not even, if they need it. Not very many people need it.
God is
or-
great.
or
God
want-
is good.
Now let us devour this
Thank
food.
us for this
Amen.
food.
Amen.
So the cool
So-
thing
Cool
is
though. I didn't know
cool
you offered a
thing
prayer card. I
is-
think that's really cool.
helpful. You go to
Yeah,
start.
yeah, because there are. I mean, I think what keeps a lot of people from being a life group leader or doing that is praying in public. Because a lot of
yeah.
people that I know that are great Christian people, their biggest fear is having to pray in public because they feel like they're not worthy.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I can pray,
Yeah.
you can pray.
Or I'm just going to say something stupid. Or, I mean, I don't know why that's a scary thing for
Theologically
people.
inaccurate.
Right, which
Right.
if I
It's
think God's a
just-
pretty funny guy, so I think if you say something
bet you
stupid,
Or girl.
he laughs.
Woman.
Or woman.
He's a
God
man.
has no gender.
Hush.
Oh, we'll get into that later.
Ooh.
Got
Oh,
beyond that.
stars.
Oh man.
Oh, you just
We've opened up a can of
you
worms.
just threw Amber off. She said, oh my!
We won't go
stars.
down that rabbit hole then. But one thing we all have in common is all four of us are life group leaders.
That is true.
We've
Y'all
led
are
different life group leaders in
yes.
different
Yes.
ways.
Yeah, we were.
Scott, tell him what you're doing. What's your life group?
No, I'm kidding. So we were challenged by Mr. John Hagler and staff meeting to start. Everyone on staff needed to start a life group that hadn't already. So I just started. I decided to start my life group, and because I have a Jeep and I like to go off roading, so I started a Jeep off road club. So it's a bunch of Jeep owners, but we accept anybody that enjoys the off road lifestyle. Because there's a couple of people in there that don't have Jeeps. So it's like people that have side by sides or whatever. And really, you don't have to have that. We just enjoy it. It's
Yeah.
something that we do.
Commonality.
And we meet once a month, which actually now I talked to the group, and now we're actually changing that to every other week or twice a month, I guess. And we meet at Tamales. And I was in a life group before that, and I enjoyed the other life group I was in. But this one, it's a lot more relaxed because the life group that I was in before, there was a study and there was all that, which is all great. But what I got out of it more than anything else is after the study was done, we would hang out and we would all talk. Mm-hmm. And that, going off of what you just said, that's what I looked for.
Right.
Because it was fun just sitting around, because it was an all-guys group, and we just sat around and we talked. And then, you goof around and stuff, but then people would bring up just in conversation, hey, this is what's going on in my life, or this is what's going on in my life. And so in my life group, that's what I'm focused on is we don't have a lesson necessarily, but it's just sitting around, we talk about Jeeps, and then in that, we generally, every time we go to Tamales, we close it down. We are the last people to leave because we just sit there and talk the entire time about anything and everything from Jeeps to what's going on in people's life. We had one lady in our life group who had a personal issue going on, and so we sat there for 2 hours and discussed her personal issue with that she was having with a friend, trying to figure out what to do next. And so 11 people all sat around, and not that we're all experts or any of that, but it's like, well, let's help you out and figure it out. So
There's so much good that can come from just hashing out
Yeah.
stuff with your friends.
yeah, and it's a safe, comfortable environment because what's said in that group, we're not going to go out and publicly broadcast it. And it's we have our own little area in Tamales that's closed off. They put us in the back room because we're probably too loud anyway. So, and it's been great, and I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I'm a leader, which is scary. So,
See, everybody will take anyone.
The bar is low.
very low.
But I think a great thing to hit on there too is it's not at your house, because some people are
Right.
like, I don't even
No.
know where I'd meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Right.
I mean, the reason why I chose Tamales, because my group is kind of scattered. Most of my group, of course, with pretty much most of us, were North Bossier or East Bossier folks. But I have a couple of people from Shreveport and from South Bossier, so I chose Tamales because it's kind of centrally located and it's easy for everyone to get to. You can hop on the interstate and you're there within 15 minutes of everybody, so it just makes it easy because a lot of people are coming after work. Like one lady, she's a nurse and she works at the VA, so she comes right after work and comes straight to there. So it's just easier for her and for everybody. And it's a restaurant that we have a relationship with, and you just
They're
Tamales
happy to
lets
have
you-
the business.
Yeah.
Right. They let you use the room for free. You just
Yeah.
call it and ask.
yeah.
And then everybody pays for their own meal, right?
Right. Well, that was I mean, I'll pick up the tab every now and again, especially if it's a smaller group because it's just fun. I mean, obviously you don't have
You're
to do
generous.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because it's just great, and that's once again, and I don't think we've ever run into a restaurant from anybody that's been meeting in all kinds of different restaurants that said, "No, you can't do that here."
Well, I mean, some places might charge you or do it, and that
Right.
fear of, well, if I go to I don't even know, you just call and ask.
Yeah.
I mean, most
Yeah,
of them
and
want you there
9
to
times
get your
out of 10,
business.
the other life groups that I know of that don't meet in homes, that meet in restaurants, they have never ran into an issue with the restaurant. The restaurant has always been accommodating and nice
Happy to
about
have
it,
'em. Yeah.
and because it's money in their pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one way to do it. And there, Amber, does y'all's meet at your house? Where do you meet with your girlfriends?
We
you're talking
meet at my house, but now we've also gone to restaurants several times too and just talked over dinner.
Yeah.
So you could totally do that too. Or you go to a coffee shop, or, some people go to the gym. We have one that meets at Christ Fit Gym, and then they have a Bible study afterwards.
Sorry.
Not for Scott.
But you could, go
There was a
walk.
running
You
group
could have
for a while,
a running
right?
group. There's a kayaking group. There's
That's cool.
a men's group that, they don't ride the bicycles, but they build the bicycles. So they might ride them.
sometimes,
They
test
might.
them out.
Kurt Joyner, he's
No,
probably
that is a
gonna
really
ride 'em.
cool story, though.
Picture Spud out there riding that little kid's bike.
Ring the bell.
You got to go to YouTube to see that.
Yeah, exactly.
But
So,
the guys, that's
the
a really
guys
cool story.
Group, the bicycle group is amazing. They raise money throughout the year. So,
But they started as just a life group.
They started as a life group.
And they got that idea.
And then they got the idea that we could bless some kids who don't have bicycles around Christmas time. And so they started raising money. They do like a golfing.
They created a whole charity golf tournament.
Yeah, a charity golf tournament. And so they
is great.
raise thousands of dollars. And then y'all would know better than I do how many bicycles they've given out for the year. Like my first year I was here, I think it was 250 bicycles.
Yeah,
that
it's
Christmas.
generally because I go and pick them up, of course. We generally. So how many years have we been doing it?
4 or 5.
4 or 5 years. So if you do 5 years, we pick up 250 bikes every time.
But that sounds overwhelming to people. But it
Right.
started with some men
But, yeah,
who were meeting, having a life
exactly,
group.
and they
wanted
decided-
then they were going to buy bikes.
Right.
But then they said, we want to include other people to be able to help and contribute to this. They talked to Justin about it. And then they started, and they just kept snowballing to where that's what their specific thing was passionate about. But it was just a life group. And
Yeah.
not just, but it was something that they just wanted to do something as a life group at Christmas, and it grew into this other
And
idea.
seeing those kids receive the bikes, I got to go deliver them last year. It would change your life.
Yeah. And that's the other
Watch
thing.
that joy.
Too, is for those that are going, well, kids don't ride bikes no more. Well, if it's certain neighborhoods, a lot of these kids, that's the only way they
That
can
is
get
their
around.
transportation. Yes.
That's the only way they, because most of these kids, they're quote unquote inner city kids. That's the only way they can get out of their homes and go see their friends, and so it's very important for them to have a bicycle because it's their only mode of transportation.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal to them because I know there's a lot of people. It's 2020, man. Kids don't ride bikes. Let them go outside.
It's even 2021 now.
Yeah, it is 2021. Sorry, but it is. It's so because the kids you wouldn't think man. I think if they got a video game, they'd be more excited. No, these kids are some of them are crying, they're screaming, they are more excited than
Pure
anything to
joy.
get these bikes.
Absolutely.
So that's a big endeavor that they do. They order all these bikes, they put them together, and then they go deliver them to the kids.
But it started with
Just
one small idea of them
with
doing life together.
10
life
guys.
groups and
You know exactly it was 10?
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
yeah, the deacons as we call them.
Do they know we call them that? They know
Yes.
now.
they probably do.
There you go.
I
So,
think they do.
Jordan,
So that's a cool group.
you're a life group leader too. Tell us about your life group.
Yeah, we have a life group, and although I will admit we haven't been meeting much here recently.
Hey,
but,
COVID shut down a lot of
it was
people.
weird
Don't feel
times.
yeah,
bad.
people
Everything.
were. It was just.
Don't feel
it was
bad.
hard to get everybody
Yeah.
together. And I've had the guys, text me and ask me about it. Let's get together and whatever. But we haven't. That's my fault. But I'm gonna be better about that.
gonna
I
So,
am.
but
You're
wait,
committing
before you were
publicly.
meeting,
Yeah.
though, or not before you were meeting. You're not meeting now, but when you were meeting, what was your group? Was
yeah,
all
it
guys?
was just guys, married, single, whatever, from 18 to 35, whatever. We just got together and hung out. Most of the time they come to my house, and maybe we might run to Chipotle or whatever. But yeah, we just hung out, watched of course you watch Andy Stanley.
We like Andy Stanley.
Do the
He's
old
got some
Andy
good stuff.
Stanley.
Andy
It's
Stanley
really
has
good
a
stuff.
ton of good
But it was
stuff.
good, man. It was fun, and yeah, I mean, I miss hanging out with them. So I need to reach back out and get that going again.
So what made you decide to do a life group?
As much as I'm involved with the band stuff, D Nice, whenever he was doing life group stuff, was like, dude, I need you to do a life group. I need you to do a life group. And he asked me multiple times. I'm like, all right, let's do it. And so that's what we did. He
That's
kicked it off
awesome.
and went from there. So
There you go. And so yours is all guys. Scott,
Yes.
yours mixed gender. it's just
Mine's
whoever's
mine
interested.
is singles, married. It's mixed gender. We have
a common
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. It's the common thing is the Jeeps.
Off-road lifestyle. I think
Or
is what you
off-road
call it.
lifestyle.
And then
Yeah.
Amber's, yours is all girls.
Mine is all girls, and
Women.
it's friends that I knew, women. Yes.
Ladies.
We went to church together 25 years ago. And so we all got married at the same time, had kids at the same time. So it's friends that I've known for a long time.
And then you have a life group.
I do, and mine has changed. So I've been doing a life group. I think it's my 11th year of doing some form of life group.
Yeah.
I took a semester off each time we had a kid. So I've
That's
taken 2
awesome.
semesters off and took a break. And Stephen
Wow.
Knight filled in and led it for me. But we've done various iterations over the years. When we started, we were young, married, and we met every week.
Right.
We had at my house, and
then we broke off because I was a part of that group.
That's right. 10 to 15 people that were just our friends that wanted to come hang out. And then as we went, we started doing a married group and just asked married couples. And Scott was single, so they kind of splintered and they did a different group. And different.
I didn't splinter with that group.
Well, other people splintered off and did a singles version of
because
it.
we were no longer welcome.
That's not true. But we went, it's so bitter. We went and started doing married couples, and we went to every other week.
Yeah.
Because life just got busy and
'Cause,
did
right.
that. And so we were meeting every week. Some stuff changed. And then when we started to have kids, we went to once a month. So we were meeting once a month with married couples for 3 or 4 years. And then when COVID started, we just honestly weren't comfortable about having gatherings, getting people together in our house.
You're
And
smart.
we would do childcare for young families. So we would have a babysitter. Like, that's just a lot of complicated logistics.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing it a little bit different. This last semester, we did an online group. So we would go, and I created a Facebook group. You go and comment, interact, and put stuff to watch. So you, on your own that week, you would go and watch a video. It had questions. You could go through, and I would link other stuff. So if you, on your own pace, wanted to learn and do something else, you could. And it was all about starting points. So what is the start of our faith? And then every Monday night, we would Zoom for about an hour.
Yeah.
So I'd say, I think we had 12 or 13 people that were in the Facebook group that said they were interested.
Yep.
I think the most we ever had at Zoom at a time was 7 of the 13 people. So about half would
is
show up each week.
Perfect number.
Sure, but it really was. And we had really good conversation through Zoom. Blake's mom, Amy, was on it through Hawaii with us.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, so just trying to do it in a different way of doing something different. So I'm going to do that again this semester,
Yeah.
and we're going to do stuff about the Enneagram. So I really like the Enneagram.
Cool.
Interested.
Too. It's so
Yeah,
fascinating
so
to
if
me.
that's something
Especially
you'd want to
as a
do.
4.
Oh, you are a 4, a big 4. But
Yeah.
you can go, and I'm going to post Enneagram resources, videos, articles
Okay.
to read during the week, and then we'll just get together and talk about it on Zoom each Monday night about 8:30. I think once kids go to bed. And
So that one, you don't even have to leave your house.
You do it
if you're
wherever you
worried
are. You
about
You can sit in your
germs.
PJs.
exactly.
That's right. That's a good one. Mallory and I did one last spring when COVID struck.
That's
We
right.
both did a Zoom online Bible. I don't know if you'd call it a life group. I mean, I really want to call it a study. 'cause
It's okay. You can call it a
Different
study.
terminology.
You're the director.
That's
I
right.
You
can
can
call it
call it
whatever
what you
I
want.
In my
You
experience
the
with simple
boss
church
lady.
people, though, is that we reach unchurched people that didn't
Yeah.
grow up in church or didn't
Right,
have a
so
church.
say in Bible
it just
study.
trips them out, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I want to add 2 things because you touched on 2 of them. Number 1, I think the smaller the group, the better, because the smaller the group, the more chances you have for, shall I say the word, intimacy. But what I mean by if you're a smaller group of people, then you are more comfortable with sharing things maybe you wouldn't be sharing in a larger group. Like, for instance, the life group that I was in prior to the one that I started, there was 25 of us,
That's a lot.
which when it came to the end of it and, the leader had asked questions, it was like crickets. But once he started breaking us up into smaller groups. Well, when that happened, then all of a sudden the conversation
Yeah,
rolled.
exactly.
So I think the smaller the group, the better. Because some people think, oh gosh, I'm gonna have 25 people in my house. No, have 4. And then the other key important component, which during COVID it makes it complicated, but is food. And the reason why I say food is if you think about your Thanksgiving dinner or the times that your family gets together, when you sit around a meal and you eat, you end up talking and a whole conversation happens, and it just relaxes people. So I think food is an important component if you're meeting, and like you can do a potluck, you can go to a restaurant. I know it's complicated with COVID, and it all depends on what you're comfortable with. You can cater if you want to, but just in my personal opinion, what I found is that food is a very good icebreaker.
We're just going to all watch each other eat on Zoom. Just smack in the microphone.
Everybody, bring your
What is
snacks.
it? ASMR?
ASMR.
Oh my god! Oh no!
Oh, don't do it,
My
Scott.
kids love
Stop.
that.
So,
It's
Amber-
awful.
understand it.
Let me clarify
Yes.
though, real quick, because we did say that we're going after the unchurched. So
Yes.
saying Bible study might flip some people out. it's really not so much a Bible study as it is topical studies that we offer people.
Yeah.
So
that was good.
It could be a marriage. It could be like the one that I did on Zoom this past spring was it's not supposed to be this way. So when something in your life goes completely wrong and you're thinking it's not supposed to be this way, that's what the study was about. And it was amazing. So there's studies on finances, there's studies on dating, there's studies on marriage, there's studies on depression, losing a spouse. Topical studies is what we do and find truths in the Bible to support that.
What my group does is actually because of you.
Yeah.
Is you post questions after Justin's sermon.
Yeah.
And so we actually go over those questions because we just follow along with them. They found that's what they wanted, so that's what we do.
That's awesome. There you go.
That's really good.
So, Amber, the people listening to this are probably involved. Most of them, I think, have been in a life group that I know and doing it. But if you were encouraging them to start a life group or to try something different, maybe they hadn't thought of the online option of doing it that way, or maybe it's just meeting at a restaurant doing that. How is the best way for somebody listening to this podcast to start a life group and then find a life group, and we'll wrap it up?
Starting a life group, if you're interested or if you just have a little twinge in your heart, that's God telling you, like, hey, I might want you to do that.
A check in your spirit.
That's right, a check in your spirit. That's a Christian-y,
Yes,
churchy term. But if you feel a little twinge of like, gosh, I probably should do that, or I think I could do that, just email me, amber@thesimplechurch.tv, or call the office. I will get right back in touch with you. All you have to do is be willing, and I will do everything else to help you set it up.
Even a prayer card we like.
Yeah. So
she will direct.
The phrase, we like to use the phrase host. So you're not necessarily leading. All you're doing is really hosting the group. And we have an acronym for that. The H is have a heart for people. The O is open your home or go to a restaurant, open a place for y'all to meet.
Right.
The S is serve some food. And the T is turn on your TV, which is usually like you'll watch a DVD or some kind of something.
Or VHS.
Through the internet.
That's
or VHS, yeah. We've got all kinds. Whatever you have at home,
if we have a VHS group, I would like to know that. If you watch a VHS tape, they're coming back. They're vintage. Yeah. But then if they want to sign up in a group, maybe they aren't ready to lead.
Yep. If you want to host a group, email me, amber@thesimplechurch.tv, and we can just talk it through. If you want to look for a group, you can go to our app or go to our website, click on Life Groups. Under that, it'll show you that we have groups that are available. And so you can see every group that's listed. I want to say I have about 43 groups. Wow. There might be only like 30 listed online. That's another point. Your group can be totally closed. It can just be you and a couple of your friends. We don't have to open it up to the church. It doesn't have to be for everyone. It can be just a tight, solid group of your buddies, and nobody has to know.
But you still want to know about it for you.
I want to know
to
if
be able
you're
to help
doing
encourage
it, so
them.
I can help you.
You have meetings for life
but
group
it does not have to be
posts.
open to the public. So the ones that are open to the public are online. You can find all of them. They have the leader listed. They have the study that they're going through. Whatever topical study that they're doing is there, and it shows when they meet, how often they meet.
If you like an off-road lifestyle.
That's right. So, and there's a link to click right there and say, I want to join, and that email will go straight to the host of the group, and they'll contact you and get you involved.
And the new semester for most groups kicks off.
Most groups are going to start this Sunday after
the
Super Bowl.
So it's a great time to jump in.
Yeah, it's a perfect time to join. We usually start right around Super Bowl time. So it's time to do it.
Do it.
I think you should try it. And most of them only last, the studies are about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So anybody can commit to something for 6 weeks. If you don't love it, it's not your
forever.
thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Or if you don't feel like those people are who you jive with, I'll find you another group. Or you and a few of your friends can have your own.
If you don't like it, start your own.
Make it what you want it to.
I'm going to put that on a T-shirt.
I like it. Well, Amber, thank you so much. We're going to come back
having me.
and talk about unifying the country with humor.
Let's do that.
But we're going to take a break right now and do that.
Dun, da, da, da.
Hey, I'm Evan, the online pastor here at the Simple Church, and we have a way for you to be back in the room every Sunday. We are excited to be recording at the historic Municipal Auditorium. This is an incredible building, and you can be a part of the live audience every Sunday as we record and stream the service. How do you do that? You can get a ticket for free at thesimplechurch.tv or our Simple Church app. It is free for a ticket, but they are first come, first serve. So to get a ticket, every Sunday you need to log on at 12:01 p.m. They go online and you can get one for the upcoming Sunday that day. So get your tickets on Sunday after the service, come the next week and be a part of the service here at the awesome Municipal Auditorium. We'd love to see you then. All right, so Amber, we try to talk about something funny in the news. We like to bring a little light humor, something interesting.
Sorry, I just saw them.
Scott, I just sent you some pictures because you wanted to talk about something a couple weeks ago that went viral that brought us all together.
Everybody's going to know it too.
That's right.
The country was completely divided. Facebook was such an ugly place.
But
And then Bernie
Sanders.
Bernie and his mittens brought us all back together, and it brought some levity to Facebook, and we were all, it didn't matter if you were a Democrat or Republican, we were all sharing the Bernie meme and cracking up. They were hilarious.
So if you haven't seen them, if you missed that somehow,
man.
I don't know how that's possible.
I don't know how.
We actually made one for Simple Church. Caleb photoshopped them into
we
the
did,
church.
yeah.
we
that's
had
right.
2.
We did too. That's right. But we went, and Bernie Sanders was at the inauguration of Joe Biden, and he showed up in a jacket that he wore famously in another meme that went viral where he's asking for money. He said, "I come to you again asking for your support."
Oh, I didn't even know it was a repeat jacket.
It's the same jacket because he's very famously trying to be minimalist and keep
Okay,
it
that's what that's about.
Yes.
I get it
And he
now.
wore some very interesting mittens. If you're on YouTube,
I'm
you can
like,
watch the
yes.
podcast
Yeah.
on YouTube. You can see them
They've
now.
been
Jordan's going to start putting
knitted.
pictures
Handmade by a teacher.
in Vermont, where he's from.
Yeah.
Oh, is that
That's a
true?
solid
Yeah.
Y'all know way more about this
Oh,
than
you
I
didn't know
do.
that? Yeah. So
No.
a teacher
I
made them
just
for
thought
him
he
as a
liked the
gift.
brown
Yeah,
mittens.
and now she's getting overwhelmed with people asking and paying for her to make them
needs-
mittens.
She said her phone broke, that there were so many requests and texts and
Get
messages coming
out.
in that she was
That's
swamped because he gave her a
hilarious.
public appreciation that he loves the teachers in Vermont and wanted to support them. And that was his fashion designer.
Other
that he
people
wore.
want brown mittens? I can't believe that.
And they put the pattern online so you can make your own. It is
Also-
yeah, so they were
my-
hilarious.
But my favorite part is that he brought his mail.
yes.
Like, how important was that mail?
He was going. I didn't even
Like-
see that
like
part.
he's that
Amber.
bored.
I know.
Did you not
Literally, all I saw were the memes. So I just saw still
Oh, yeah,
shots
he
of him
brought
being
his
posted
mail.
everywhere.
He had other stuff to do. It's
And
a busy
that's
guy.
what. Yes, that was one of my favorite, funniest quotes I heard. Was it looks like Bernie had the inauguration on his list of things to do today, but that's not all he had.
I'm going to go by Joe's thing, swing,
Yeah.
make an
He's like,
appearance.
Capital One card, throw away.
Yeah,
All
this is
right,
a
another
Johnny's
offer from Discover.
coupon.
But Amber, what were some of your favorite memes? And if you watch on YouTube, we're going to post these, put them on there. You can go check them out and
I
see
think
them.
my favorite was him sitting. George Strait is singing on stage, and he's looking to the left, and there's Bernie. They've put him on there, and he says, "Excuse me, I think you have my chair." You know, the famous George Strait song.
There you go.
That one made me laugh. The one, okay, so who was the big fight that we just had last?
Conor McGregor.
Connor
Okay.
and Dustin
So
Poirier.
somebody put his face in as one of those They're not called wrestlers. What are they?
You just angered our
Cage
UFC
UFC
audience.
cage fight. He had
Sorry.
Bernie had him in what's known as an arm bar.
Okay, so yes, Bernie was in the arm bar, and it looked so real. It really was a good one.
People are
So
really good at
We'll
Photoshop.
put that online too, so people
Absolutely.
can see that. That one was funny. He was sitting on the friend's couch.
Yep.
Saw him there. Yep. What else did I see?
My personal favorite
Yeah, did you
Yes.
have a fave?
was the person that went to the trouble of printing the picture out in black and white, putting it in a frame, and then hanging it up. Not just hanging it, gluing it to the wall at a Cracker Barrel.
I saw that too.
Oh, I did see that one. That's hilarious.
I mean, it's not hung up. They literally glued it to make sure Cracker Barrel couldn't come back and take it down.
So that's kind of a viral trend, is people break into Cracker Barrels and just try to discreetly hang stuff in and put it in there without their
Really?
permission. Because there's all the
Yeah.
knickknacks and stuff on there, so people have done it, but they put Bernie up there.
So Bernie's in
and-
the old Cracker
yeah,
Barrel.
and it's black and
One,
white,
not
and
all
there-
of 'em.
and there's like it's just one, but it's like an old house is behind them. I mean, it looks perfect. It looks like it fits. Like they
Yeah.
aged
Oh,
the
yeah.
photo and everything. Somebody went to a lot of
That's
trouble.
Funny.
So I think my couple favorite was the very famous picture of the workers building the Empire State Building on a beam sitting there. They're like all across with their lunches, and Bernie
Yes,
just fits in
yeah.
right there in black and white. And then they put the baby Yoda, the child, or Grogu, if you're a Star Wars fan, is his
Okay.
real name now, and he had the mittens on.
Oh my gosh.
Love some the child memes.
So anyway, it was just funny to me that really the whole world was so divided.
That's
and
right.
then it was a great sign of like, look, we're all more alike than we are different. We all like to laugh and have fun, and it just brought back some light and levity to the
And
world.
there's a do-good
Levity.
component to it too. So he went and his team made a sweatshirt that sold on his website.
That's right.
And all the money was donated to go for Meals
at
on Wheels.
Bernie.
And they sold out. And I think they've made a couple $1 million now in retail that's all being donated to go do Meals on Wheels in Vermont.
And that's what we need to do.
Do good.
Capitalize on doing
Thank you,
good.
Bernie.
Let's focus on doing good and not Anything
division.
else?
How great is the name Bernie, too?
It's a good name.
Bernie.
If I ever have a kid, which I might have one out there, I don't know.
Oh, my Lord. Bernie Odom. If you're out there
Hope his
listening,
name
you're
is
dead.
Bernie.
Edit that out.
On that note, Scott, I think it's a good time to sign off.
Bye, Bernie.
Thanks for having me,
Little
guys. It was
Scott
super fun
Odom.
to be here
Thank
today.
you, Amber. Check out life group information. We're going to put all in the show notes, so go
Yep.
back and check it out. Get the links. Email Amber at thesimplechurch.tv. We hope you're a part of a life group
I
in
can't wait to hear
2021.
from you guys.
Yes. Bye.
See you later. Thanks again.
That was a great podcast. I enjoyed the Bernie memes.
It was a special episode.
Yes. It was special, as all episodes are.
Snowflake. Unique and wonderful. Snowflake
That was my
hands.
snowflake.
If you're watching on YouTube, you saw that.
Yeah.
Thanks for being
Yeah,
here.
if you
Subscribe.
didn't, you just heard the snowflake sound. Of doo-doo.
Is that a universal snowflake
Yeah,
sound? Okay.
it is.
Yeah. So there you go. Now you know that. Make sure that you are listening on the podcast, the audio form. You don't miss an episode. Every week comes out on Wednesday. We've got some great ones coming up, special episodes.
Yes.
Every week. And we
Every
want you to
week.
be a part of it. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much. Subscribe today.